Hey, what's going on? Hey everyone. We've got another big pig here. That's my brother Kevin, if you guys haven't met him. Say what's up.
What's up, guys?
This is YouTube Live right now. Yeah, so hey, thanks for hopping on. I see some people here. Rico, Dory, Kathy, Cyberlow. See you guys doing a little pregame here. Wish I could join you while it's live, but I gotta go to bed. All right, that's cool. Waiting for the Asian boy to speak about rice. All right, cool. Yeah. So today's topic is we're talking about self-esteem. You know, cool topic. Today I want to talk a little bit about kind of a rating between a scale 1 through 10. You know, where do you see yourself in terms of your self-esteem on a scale 1 through 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best? Where do you stand? I'm thinking about myself, and honestly, this conversation came up because I watched a video from my friend who rated himself 1 through 10. Anyway, so I just realized for me this would be a good idea to bring about self-awareness for ourselves. When I look at my own self-esteem, I would say I'm at I feel like a 7 would be where I'm at in terms of self-esteem. Hey Ruskin, what's going on? Whoa, what's up? Long time no see. That's crazy. Well, I have. Do you want to go too?
You what?
All right. Hey, since my brother's here, self-esteem scale 1 through 10. Where are you at?
I would say probably I'm definitely not perfect at it, but 8.73 maybe.
8.73
to 8.85.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and why?
I would say that just comes with practice over time of just being able to know what your vision is every single day and not really caring what other people think or what they say. And it's not like you have any type of like resentment towards them or you're trying to ignore what they're saying or what they're feeling. It's just that when you're so centered and your framework is around what you want to chase and your passions in life, and you know it's with good intentions, then you're just going to do everything that you can just to lay it on the line, sacrifice, and do what you have to do. And any other distractions out there, any type of haters out there that don't disagree with you, they really just don't faze me as much. Like I said, it's a work in progress, but yeah, just figure out what your vision is, your belief system as well too, and then just keep at it. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you close the door after?
Yeah.
Thanks. All right, cool. So that's if you just walked in here, that's my brother Kevin, and he's someone that I've always looked up to growing up. And honestly, growing up, I've always compared myself with him. I don't do that the same way anymore. But for me, like, I'm glad I asked him. You know, he said 8.73, and I think that's that feels like a pretty good representation. I used to have very low self-esteem because I compared myself with my brother and sister. Today, you know, I don't do that anymore. So anyway, I chose a 7 out of 10 because for me, you know, my self-esteem used to be at like when I was in high school or middle school, I would say my self-esteem was probably at probably a 2 or 3, 2.5 to 3, I would say. So now I feel like I'm at a 7. And my why do I feel like I'm at a 7 is because I feel like I've practiced I guess I've practiced being myself. And also what got me from a 2.3/3 to a 7 is the fact that I'm in alignment with my work is in alignment with my vision and what I want to do. You know, it's I am doing what I say I'm going to do. So not completely, of course. You know, I'm not a perfect 10. You know, I'm always working on it, but I'm at a 7 because, you know, the work I'm doing, motivational speaking, making YouTube videos, content for free, is in alignment with that. So that's why I chose this number. So I would love to, sorry I haven't read your comments, I'm going to read them in just a second, but I would like to know from you, what is your number? On a scale 1 through 10, where is your self-esteem at and why? So those are the two questions. Number 1, scale 1 through 10, what's your self-esteem? And number 2 is why? Why did you choose that number? Okay? All right, so I'm going to catch up on the comments right now. Let's see. So we got back Hey everyone, it's great to see everyone back on. Same crew, and Avery gets you Chowder. Let's see. Of course we got Rico again. Cyberlow 7.5 or 7. Roskid, good to see you on for a while. Back again since a while ago. Kathy, glad you're doing these videos again. Yep, just being bro. I guess you don't go to those parties at night. What up, Ventroid? I still compare myself with my sister. Avery says 5. Raskid, solid 6. Chowder 3. All right, let's see. Ben, you talk a lot about being in alignment with yourself and your goals. How is your self-esteem affected when you aren't aligned? I will answer that in just a second. Loner Bastard, maybe 3. Okay, and then Chowder, this is going to sound super edgy. I feel conditioned by society to compete and compare myself with others, college, race, etc. All right, so we're going to address these comments. First, I'm going to go with Ben's, and then Chowder, yours is next, okay? So Ben, you said, I talk a lot about being in alignment with myself and your goals. How's your self-esteem affected when you aren't aligned? So if you are not aligned with your visions and your goal, and let's say whatever you're doing in your life, you're in a way kind of just filling space or filling time and preoccupying yourself with something that isn't perfectly like, I don't like, video games is a great example for me. I used to play a lot of video games, and when I say used to, it's not even that long ago in a way. Like, I'm not completely out of the whole video game phase. I currently don't play, but I'm pretty sure sometime in the future, I'm not planning on it, but sometime in the future, I'm gonna hop back into it when I get into one of those lows in my life. So playing video games for me does not boost up my self-esteem, and it kind of brings me down. And I point this out because talking about the whole, how's my self-esteem affected when I'm not in alignment? When I'm playing video games, for me, I'm not saying this is for everyone, but for me, I equate video games to kind of, I don't want to say a waste of time, but it's not aligned with my vision. Because I know my life, I know for myself, is more focused on service. And video games to me doesn't really serve other people. It doesn't serve me very well in the way I play video games most of the time, which is I kind of abuse it like a drug in a way. It's an escape for me. So back to your question, Ben, how does self-esteem affect us when we're not in alignment? When we're not in alignment, I feel like that affects our self-esteem because we know whatever we're doing is not the thing that's in alignment with us. So in a way, we're not being consistent with who we feel genuinely. Our soul feels like we should be being. So that's pretty much it. Let's go with, let's say you want to be healthier. Maybe you're overweight, or you're not exercising, and part of it is like, okay, I don't feel good, and I think part of that's not being in alignment with ourselves. I'm speaking from my personal experience, by the way, so when I don't eat healthy, or if I'm not exercising, I don't feel good because it's not in alignment with me. I know that at least part of me gets to sustain exercise and eating somewhat healthy. So that's what I have to say around that. Hope that supports and makes sense. Kathy, thanks for coming back on. And yep, I understand you gotta go if you gotta go. Alrighty. So Ben, we will continue that conversation. Sorry, I'm just gonna go in order of the comments, and if I see a comment that's relevant, that you're responding to this conversation, that we'll come back to it. We'll kind of go back and forth. Chowder, this is going to sound super edgy. I feel conditioned by society to compete and compare myself with others, college, race, everything, etc., etc. That totally makes sense. I think society does condition us to compare ourselves with other people and compete with other people. And I feel like, in a way, what's healthy, my opinion, is that we get to figure out a way to continue to have that competitive edge in terms of, like, let's say you're comparing yourself with grades, class rankings. I think that stuff kind of supports us into getting into a good school, and after getting to a good school, having a good job. That makes sense. But at the same time, even though you have a class ranking, even though you have GPA, and you're comparing yourself, naturally comparing yourself with other people, I think what we need to learn to do on the behind the scenes, inside our own mind, is realize that every single person has a different journey. So imagine you have classmates, or maybe a sibling, a brother or sister, who's quote unquote doing better than you. They're the successful one, but you're struggling. That's my story, by the way, if you haven't figured that out by now. Brother and sister, fantastic, amazing people. Brother made $2,000 in middle school selling Pokemon cards. He broke league records in swim. He got a 4.6 to 4.6 GPA, something like that. So did my sister. They all graduated top of the class. I didn't. So I always compared myself. But it took me 24 years of my life. I'm 28 now. It took me 24 years of my life to realize, oh shoot, I don't need to compare myself with my brother or sister. I'm proud of my brother and sister. My brother, at the age of 25, he was already managing 200, 300 employees at Target. That's incredible. Store manager. And not a lot of 25-year-olds do that. Not a lot of 25-year-olds manage a whole entire store of 200, 300 employees. Like that's pretty crazy. So that's my brother. I'm proud of him, and I'm not here. I know that's his path. That's not necessarily my path. So I'm learning on my journey that it's not about comparing myself with him. It's not about comparing myself with others, my peers. It's challenging. I'm not saying I'm perfect, because honestly, I still do compare myself with my speaker buddies. My speaker buddies, the ones that are booking so many speaking gigs, like their calendars are massively booked up. They're whatever it is, like they're doing 150 gigs a year. And I'm only doing a few of them a month right now. So it's like, of course, we're always going to compare ourselves, but I guess if we're going to compare ourselves, I think what we get to do is compare ourselves in a healthy way, in a way that promotes us, that pushes us towards our vision versus pushes us down, if that makes sense. So if you're going to compare yourself with other people, do it in a way that pushes your vision forward versus pushes you down. That's kind of what I got. Easier said than done. I get it. And it's one of those things that we got to work on one thing at a time. All right. Let's see. Okay, Raskid. Let's see. My sisters are entrepreneurs, dentists, and even studying for a master's in psychology just feels like a big shoe to fill. The good news is you don't have to fill that shoe. It's those are your sisters, and I think we all get to carve our own paths. I get it. We all have different family expectations, expectations from our parents. So we feel like we need to do something just as great or greater. And I don't know, maybe what you get to do is something that's different. For me, I feel like, again, super proud of my brother and sister. Brother, I already told you, managing 200, 300 employees. Sister, she's running her own IT recruiting company that's doing really, really well. So those are my brother and sister. Financially, they're doing great. For me, I've carved my own path. I've defined what success is to me. And to me, success, sure, a little bit is financial, but honestly, finances is not my main focus. My main focus is what impact can I make in the world. So that's always been my main focus. And this is me being in alignment with myself. My life is about service. My life is about creating impact and giving back. And through speaking, speaking at schools and doing whatever, YouTube live videos, Facebook live videos, creating YouTube videos, coaching and whatever the heck I'm doing, I know that I'm making that kind of impact directly because I'm focused on what's in alignment with me, if that makes sense. So even though my parents might not necessarily agree, they're like, hey, Richard, where's the money? Where's the money, Richard? Like, where's the income? That's all my parents care about. They want me to make money because they believe money equals happiness. And for me, it's sure, maybe a little bit of money, enough to put food on the table and, maybe get health insurance and have a house and stuff like that. But besides that, I don't need a lot of money. That's, but, I mean, if there's a way that generates money, then I'll take it. All right, cool. So, I am, all right. Susie H, I gave myself about a 6 because I'm working on making a confidence more genuine at all times. Sometimes I fake it to make it. Right on. Thank you for that. Kathy, sorry, I have to go. Oh, yep, got that. That's good. That said, I feel confident with who I am and act myself around 90% of people, including new people I meet. Avery, I gave myself a 5 because I used to go to a smaller school with people that were all into the same things because it was a self-driven high school. Super cool. I felt bubbly, happy, and confident, but now I go to a school of 3,000 kids and I feel like my personality is crushed by my anxiety and the pressure of all the other people at school. Okay, thanks for that share. Cyber video games are the ultimate escape and regret for me, but I just can't help it. Interesting. I get it. And I guess in a way that's kind of cool that we get to talk about this. I'm not perfect with video games, and I think it's more about having a healthy relationship with video games versus just saying like, video games are bad and screw video games, like for me, this is like really silly, trivial things. But how I spend my time, a lot of people watch popular shows, Netflix or, Stranger Things too, Rick and Morty, whatever it is. I don't watch a lot of TV. I do once in a while watch YouTube videos, and honestly, what's kind of silly, and I'm not embarrassed about it, but feels a little bit silly, is sometimes I like watching like old video game videos, like StarCraft stuff, like I don't even play StarCraft 2. I played it once in my life. But sometimes I'll just watch random videos because I like the strategy. I like the, what people do, and it's entertaining at the same time. So my point is, in terms of balance is my point. Find that right balance that works for you. All right, Raskid, meant to say study of psychology, not psychology misspelled. Yeah, I got it. You're good. Charter, my identity is who I am, but I always see it as what I do and how I look. Interesting. My identity is who I am, but I always see it as what I do and how I look. That's it. I love Chowder, but I appreciate your comments because they're very real and they remind me of myself in many ways. In terms of identity, let's go with job. I think a lot of people identify themselves, who they are, their value or whatever it is, based off their job title. And this is one of those things that it takes a little bit of maturing and just going through the process of life to kind of understand that our identity is not dependent on our job title. And I'll be honest, I'm 28 years old, I'm still young, and I still go through that challenge of, the whole not judging people based off their job titles and what they do. Inspirational speaker, I believe in our society is a pretty highly ranked profession. So for me, like it feels cool. And I remember when I started calling myself a youth inspirational speaker, because that's what I do. It was a mixture of like, part of me was proud. I'm like, yeah, I'm a youth inspirational speaker. And then another part of me was kind of, the self-esteem part of me was like, ooh, do you really deserve to call yourself that? And over time, over the past 3.5 years of me doing this, I play with that thought, the insecurities and the conversations in my head. When I call myself, I identify as a youth inspirational speaker, I say it in the way of kind of letting people know what I do. And I'm not perfect, but today when I say, hey, yeah, I'm a youth inspirational speaker, there's a part of me that's like still, proud or happy that that's what I do. People are like, oh, that's really cool, so, how did you get started in that? Like, people always ask the same questions. But for me, how do I say this? I'm still working through the whole identity thing. It's like, we're not defined by our work. We're defined by the character that we are. So that's something that I'm constantly working through. So I guess I just half answered it. Alrighty. Do you drink alcohol? Because it does boost confidence at times. I'm not I don't drink, I don't really drink alcohol. I have in the past in terms of, I've tried it. I don't like it. I don't like the taste of it. I think I'm allergic to it too. So my body doesn't react very well with it. And I'm glad I don't really drink because, one, extra calories, I'd probably be even fatter than I am right now. And two, it's expensive. And three, I don't know, whatever. Three is it's not super healthy. Calories, same thing related. I'm never drinking a sip of alcohol in the entirety of my life. Awesome. Quite the commitment, my friend. Me too. I've never drank before. We got some people who have never drank alcohol in here. Let's see. Honestly, like, I don't know. I'm so surprised how many people in our society, in our world, drink alcohol. I'm just surprised. I'm not judging. I'm not saying that people shouldn't. I'm just surprised because, in my opinion, alcohol doesn't taste good. I don't get enjoyment. Like, my doctor or my dad's chiropractor is like, hey, Richard, drink red wine. It's good for you. Like, I recommend it. And I told him I don't drink. And he's like, hey, try this wine. It's good. It doesn't taste like alcohol. It tastes like grape juice. Just try it. And I bought it, and he's right. It doesn't taste like wine. It's very, very light on the alcohol. But I'm like, I still don't like it. It has alcohol in it. So I just don't. I'm surprised how many people like alcohol. I like my water. That's my thing. Let's see. That's cool. Do you guys have any reasons in particular for not drinking? I just shared with you mine. I'll let everyone else share their reasons why in the comments. Avery, my relatives have a history with alcoholism, so I just want to avoid it. Also, it's healthier not to. Geez, everything I saw seems so down. I promise I'm a happy person. Hello. Okay, Raskid. I always enjoy Richard's point of view on subjects. Always positive, dedicated, informative, and enlightening. Thank you, Richard. Raskid, brother, you're welcome. I'm happy to be here, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to kind of share my thoughts. It's I'm very grateful to have this the privilege of being the one doing this Facebook Live and all of you tuning in to me. So that's a privilege for me. He never answered my question last time. Rico, did I not? I'm sorry, and yeah, feel free to ask the question again. Sorry if I missed it. I thought I've answered every single question up until this point. Avery, it's easy to over-exaggerate your own situation. Jan dude, how about confidence tip to get a job? So this is Jan dude. I need some clarifying questions. Are you trying to get a job, like a job temporarily to pay bills and get money? Or are you trying to land a career with a company that you want to stay with for the rest of your life? I believe there's two slightly different approaches. If you're just trying to get a job for money, then I guess in a way, then you could just fake it till you make it. You could go into an interview and just, come prepared with the answers, practice interview questions, and just be confident and kind of, fake it till you make it. That's for a job. Now, if you want to build a real relationship with a company and you want to have a career with them where you stay with them and you build up the relationship, then I don't recommend faking it till you make it. I believe, this is my belief, I believe in the genuine, being authentic approach. Go in there, have a real friendly conversation, say, hey, like, this is what I bring to this is what I bring to the table. Yes, here's my opportunities. I'm still working on them. I'm not perfect. But what I do know is that I really like this company, and not only that, but I know the genuine level of dedication I have here. Again, here's my weaknesses, but I also know that I'm genuinely committed to being a part of this organization and to give it my best, because I believe in what this company, the mission of this company, and I'm aligned with the vision of this company, and I genuinely want to help this company grow. So hopefully that gives a little insight. So in terms of confidence, if you're looking for a career, like a long-term relationship, kind of like with a girl or a guy, with a company, a long-term relationship with a company, how you build your confidence, really, it's just like dating. You don't go into a relationship with everyone you meet. You go into a relationship with the one that feels right and is a good fit. So same thing with a company. If you want a career, focus on companies that match your personality and opportunities that match your personality and what you have to offer. If it's not a good fit, then move on. You know, don't be super desperate to get every single job possible. I get it. We all kind of do that, or not all, but many of us, most of us do that when we graduate school. And we're like, oh, shoot, I got a job, you know, I got to make money or whatever it is. So, again, it's relationship. There we go. All right. Okay. I gotta catch up. You guys are lots of comments today. Okay, here we are. Yo, I know there are a lot of questions, but do you mind slowing down? Do I mind slowing down? Like my conversation? I'm happy to slow down a little bit. Yes, I know I'm talking a lot and talking fast. I'm happy to slow down a little bit, so I'll do that for you. Ventroid, how do you manage holding a basic job while in college? I'm considering getting employed, but I fear getting myself into a chaotic schedule. Let's see. So, how do you manage holding a basic job while in college? I think this goes down to self-awareness. It's looking at yourself and thinking to yourself, Ventroid, what are you capable of handling? You know, how much are you capable of handling? So, you know, first of all, figure out how many units are you taking in school. You know, are you taking 12 units, 16, 20 units, whatever it is. And then once you kind of figure out, okay, how much time do I need to study? Or you can ask yourself, how many hours can I work and still do good enough in school, whatever it is, you know? And for me, when I was in college, I remember I'm like, I could probably work about 20 hours and be okay with that. But honestly, if you don't feel like you could handle 20 hours, are there jobs that only do 10 hours a week, you know? So look at that. And if you're open to experimenting or testing that out, then go ahead and try it. You know, try getting a job like that. But if you're like, I don't, you know, I'm not willing to risk that, then maybe a job isn't the right thing for you. So it's just kind of figuring things out and your priorities. And again, if you need money, you know, if you really, really need money and you need to get a job, then that's what you got to do. You got to push yourself to put in the 20 hours, the 30 hours, or maybe even 40, or maybe even more. So that just depends on self-awareness. So you want to look at yourself and figure that out. All right. Avery, I'm sick and I have to go to sleep. I'll get around to DM you about my school. I wish I could stay. My school really needs your compassion and wisdom. Avery, thank you very much. And I hope you feel better. And, you know, we could always, looking forward to chatting and catching up a little bit later. All right, Chowder, that slowdown comment was when you were blazing through everything. You know what's funny? It's like, I only read your relevant comments a few minutes later once I finish, because I want to make sure I hit everything. I don't want to miss anything. And if I scroll down, okay, I got like 8 more comments to go before I catch up. And it's okay. I think it works out. Judah Israel, question, how do you deal with feeling like a failure? That's a great question. So I guess in a way, this, Judah, so the question again is, how do you deal with feeling like a failure? I think how we deal with feeling like a failure is realize that you're not a failure, you know? And this might sound really cheesy, but I get it. Let's say you fail at school, you know, you get Fs. I've gotten Fs and I felt like a complete failure. The thing is, in 7th grade, when I failed my pre-algebra class and my mom was yelling at me, pulling out my hair, hitting me, you know, slapping me, and I was crying, and I was like super, super sad and depressed and upset and just super disappointed in myself for failing a class and having to repeat it the next year. I'm like, I'm just a failure. That's just who I am, you know? And that was my life story. For 23 years of my life, every single day, in the front, in the back of my head, it was, Richard, you're stupid, you're stupid, you're stupid, you're stupid, you're stupid, you're stupid. Non-stop, that's all I told myself. Richard, you're stupid. You're so stupid, man. Richard, you're dumb. You're an idiot. You know, you can never do anything right. So you bet I felt like a failure. you know? How do you deal with that? So what, I guess in a way, I'm going to use my personal experience to kind of share with you how I got out of this feeling of being a failure is, number one, it was actually taking action towards improving my situation. So for example, in high school, I joined a lot of community service leadership organizations roles. I was, vice president of my sophomore class. I was lieutenant governor for Key Club. I was, president of this club and vice president of that club. So I got really involved. And all these, leadership roles, for me, it did boost my self-esteem. And I was still really low, It didn't fix all my problems, but it definitely helped build up my self-esteem. And trust me, it took a really, really long time to completely build up all my self-esteem. It wasn't one of those things that just happened right away. So number one is, if you want to stop feeling like a failure, kind of begin to achieve certain goal or milestones. Let's say I'm going to go back to grades. If you feel like a failure in grades, what's going to help boost up your self-esteem is getting better grades. I know that sounds hard and obvious, but that's the truth. If you get better grades, you'll start feeling better about yourself. Now, let's say by chance you don't do well. Let's say you study your ass off. You do really, you study, you try, and your grades still suck, just like mine. What I'll say is, that's okay. I mean, it's ideal. The goal is not to get bad grades. I'm not giving you permission to get bad grades. I'm saying it's okay because your grades are not going to define your whole entire life. I guarantee you, I mean, my grades weren't great, but I'm doing okay with my life right now. I'm decently happy. I could be better and I could be worse, but grades don't define everything. So let's see, if you feel like a failure, chances are that means you have very high expectations of yourself. You probably have high expectations from your parents or maybe your siblings or friends. And just know that, I don't know, give yourself permission to fail. It's okay to fail. It really is. It's okay to be a failure. It's, I don't know how to say this. It's like, just because you're a quote unquote failure today doesn't mean you're a failure forever. It's not a part of who you are. You are not a failure. You've failed certain situations, and that's okay. Everyone fails. Some people quote unquote fail more than others, and that's okay. Doesn't make them any less of a person. They're not stupid. They're not an awful person. It just means that they failed, and that's okay. Learn from your mistakes, grow, and a big important thing is, this is where don't compare yourself comes into play. So don't compare yourself with other people. Everyone has their own journey. You just because you're not getting those straight A's, that's okay. It really is okay. I know your parents don't think it's okay, but it really is okay. You're going to be okay. If you want to get those A's, then keep striving for those A's. Keep pushing yourself. Of course, you can be a little bit hard on yourself if you want to get those A's, but at the end of the day, just know that you're going to be okay. That's all I have to say. All right? Okay. All right. I know I see a lot of comments coming. I will read your comments when I get there. What is your opinion on NoFap and the effects masturbation has on self-esteem? I thought we already answered this question. My opinion on NoFap is I appreciate the community, and I appreciate the movement of not masturbating and things like that. The effects it has on self-esteem, masturbation. Let me see. I'm not a huge expert on this one. It's very hard for me to talk about it because I don't know too much about how much masturbation has on self-esteem. I would say in terms of alignment, if we're talking about alignment, if you feel like you should not be masturbating, but you do it anyway, chances are that's hurting your self-esteem. Okay? So that's pretty much what I have to say with that one. Let me see. Let's see. So masturbation and self-esteem. I believe that, I don't know how to say this. this is I'm gonna be honest. This is something that I'm still working through myself. And in terms of self-esteem, I mean, I think masturbation, in terms of if it's something that's not in alignment with you and it's not in alignment with me, then I would say it hurts. It would hurt our self-esteem. So that's pretty much what I have to say with that. And if you have more questions on it, then feel free to ask. I'm not too sure how I could continue that conversation. Yeah, let me know. Well, that escalated quickly. Nice. Off-topic question: where can I get a chair similar to the hammock behind you? Honestly, so this one I got off Craigslist. Sorry, Rasket, I don't remember where you live exactly, but Craigslist is like an online. It's like an online. What is that called? Classified. So this chair normally, I don't know, it sold for, it was a few hundred. It was not cheap. But I actually, so the funny story with my room is, one day my sister was like, "Hey Richard, why don't you kind of like, renovate your room a little bit?" And I'm like, "How? I have all this random furniture." And she's like, "Get rid of it." I'm like, "Huh, that's a good idea." So what I did was I held a garage sale. I sold a bunch of old stuff, used the money to buy new stuff or new used stuff. And so, everything, all this stuff was all like the stuff that I bought for free. So, I mean, I know they sell this, you can search it online. Yeah, you could find it online. So search online for like hanging chair and you'll see a lot of different options. So that's pretty much how I got that. All right. I gotta catch up on these comments. Let's see. As far as your life isn't going the way you want it to go. Wait, I feel like there's more. Judo? No? Okay, I don't see more. All right. I'm saying just because of that. Aw, that's awesome. Look at this awesome support we got here. Let's see. It's uncomfortable, but I think it's important to talk about too. Yep. Oh, thank you so much, dude. Yeah, I want a career. Okay, I stopped taking Adderall recently. Quitting going cold turkey was made me much more comfortable socially. The detriment has been on my ability to take advanced classes and get good grades. I feel like people think less of me now and see me as a slacker due to the sudden change, but I am trying my hardest. It's the first time where trying my hardest isn't good enough. It's scary. Awesome. Currently failing math, and honestly, it's scary that I don't care. Thoughts? Sorry for wall text. Chatter, well, thanks for, I appreciate your vulnerability and openness, and good for you for let's see, quitting, going cold turkey, and I'm guessing because you feel like that's the right thing you should be doing is what I'm kind of sensing or interpreting from your message. And it has its consequences and effects, and it's scary because you're currently failing math, and it's scary. It's scary that I don't care. Okay. What are my thoughts? I think the front of your brain, the conscious is like, I don't care, but your subconscious actually does care. Otherwise you would not be asking the question, what are your thoughts? So you do care. It's just part of your brain is telling you that you don't care. So what are my thoughts? My thoughts are, I think I feel like you get to continue digging deeper and understanding why do you quote unquote not care about failing math. On a surface level, you don't feel like you care. So why is that? Why is getting good grades important to you in math or in general? So ask yourself that question. Is getting good grades important to you? Feel it out. Use your, I'm touching my heart right here. Use your gut instinct. Is getting good grades important to you? Does your gut say yes or no? And then ask yourself why. Why is getting good grades important to me? Or why is getting good grades really not that important to me? Why? So ask those questions, and I think you'll have more clarity in that. Eventually, depending on what your future goals you might want to do. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, I've tried everything. My only options are to go musical turkey. Rich, do I like rap music? Honestly, I'm not huge into rap. I'm more EDM, alternative rock, so that's more of my jam. I do, sometimes I enjoy my ghetto side, so I do enjoy rap music once in a while. It's for kicks and whatever. Raskid. Finding motivation, drive, passion to follow through on achievable goals set for yourself. Okay, I'm gonna read that one more time. So how do you finding motivation, drive, passion to follow through on achievable goals set for yourself? So how do you find the motivation, drive, passion to follow through on achieving goals set for yourself? I'm not going to talk to you as an expert here because I struggle with it. I have my goals, and honestly, I believe the biggest driving force, not the biggest pushing force, but the biggest pulling force. The pulling force is the good kind of force. The pulling force is the things I'm going to automatically do things because I'm so driven to do it because I'm being pulled by my vision. I think the biggest pull that we can get is by figuring out, what is your why? What is your why for what you're doing? So if you're asking how do you find motivation and drive and passion to follow through on your goals, is focus on the why, as Simon Sinek says. Simon Sinek, if you don't know, he did a TED Talk on this. Sinek, S-I-N-E-K. Simon, S-I-M-O-N, Sinek, S-I-N-E-K. And he has a book / TED Talk called The Power of Why. And he talks about why the word why is so important. So if you're struggling with motivation, start with why. Start with why. Did I say that? Yeah. There we go. So start with the why. Understand why exactly are you doing what you're doing, and keep going back to your why. So that's the biggest tip, number one. Number one, and there's only one. But the smaller tip is sometimes we don't know our why. Just like me. Sometimes I don't know. I disconnect from my why. And I'm kind of like, why am I doing the speaking YouTube thing? I know it's fun and I like it and I'm doing something that's of service and meaningful, but I get disconnected sometimes. And in that case, when I get disconnected with my why and I have a hard time connecting with my why, what I end up doing is, this is where the whole kind of push yourself, because understand there's other things, other skills you're developing in the process. So I remember I was part of a coaching program, and I had a commitment that I made to myself. And the commitment was like, I was 100% committed because I said so. I'm like, no matter what, I'm going to get it done. And then guess what? I made a commitment, and all of a sudden I got unmotivated. I'm like, I don't know my why. Why am I doing this? I'm so confused. And then my coach was like, Richard, what if you don't even need to know your why? I'm like, what are you talking about? Of course I need to know what my why. I need to know why I'm doing it. Otherwise, why am I doing it? And then he's like, he repeated again. He's like, Richard, what if you didn't need to know your why? I'm like, what are you talking about? Stop saying that. And then I'm like, what if I didn't need to know my why? And I thought to myself, I'm like, that's a good question. What if I didn't need to know my why? And I realized for myself, what motivated me to finish my my commitment 100% was this idea that I'm like, okay, maybe I don't need to know my why. What if the purpose of me completing and doing exactly what I said I would do, my commitment, I'll tell you what my commitment was later. It's a long list of things. That's why I haven't told you. But the reason for me to push through and complete my commitments 100% was because I knew for myself that I wanted to practice my integrity. I want to practice my self-integrity, where if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So that's why I followed through and I completed 100%. And it was not easy. It was tough. The commitment I made it was part of a coaching program. So I had a bunch of different commitments. One was exercise every single day. It was like lose 15 pounds in 3 months or something like that. Other ones was like earn $6,000 income, which was tough for me. But I ended up doing it in like 2 weeks, like just by like thinking outside the box and pushing myself and all that kind of stuff. Other ones were like travel internationally amongst all the chaos that was going on in my life. And I did it. Other ones were like build better better relationships with all my family members, brother, sister, mom, dad. And I did that, I had a lot of conversations and things like that with them during that period. Let's see, other ones. I had some fundraising goals, like to fundraise money towards a certain cause and other stuff like that. And, everything was accomplished. So my why was to build up my self-esteem, essentially, to build up my own confidence that if I say I'm going to do something, I do it. So there we go. I hope that helps. All right. Ever thought about starting a Discord for the channel? What is Discord? Goodness, I'm not too familiar with Discord. I feel like I've looked at it or whatever, but I'm not too familiar with what a Discord is. So, Chowderp, if you could explain that, I'd love to hear. But that sounds like an extra step. Gotta go. Been nice chatting, but I'm behind with homework. See ya. All right, Ventroid, take care. Thanks for hopping on, and good luck on your homework. See you a little bit later. Chatter, you talk a lot about thinking, does this align with my goals, and acting on that. But does that encourage overworking and facilitate burnout? Ooh, these are good questions. Let's see. Doesn't align with my goal on acting on it. But does that encourage overworking and facilitate burnout? I don't think so. I don't think being in alignment with our goal and acting on that, it facilitates burnout. Hold on, I'm going to pause a second so I can really kind of feel this one out. Does focusing on our aligning ourselves with our vision, our goal, and who we are burn us out? No, I don't think so. Because here's the thing. I believe if we are authentically aligned with who we are, if we're taking actions that are, in alignment with who we are, then there is no burnout. Why? Because it's what we want to do authentically. It's if you're in alignment. Ooh, man, this is okay. I'm starting to see the real questions. Like, for example, let's say alignment is eating healthier or exercising more, whatever it is. Can you get burnt out by that? And I could see that. All right, so alignment. I think we, in this case, we need to define what alignment means. I think for me, the most important part of alignment is really what's your North Star? What's the thing that's really guiding you? And for me, honestly, health and diet is not my main priority. I know that sounds really bad. If my family or my friends hear this, they'd be like, Richard, what are you doing, man? Health is really important. You need to take care of your body and stuff like that. I get it. But for me, really what my focus is right now is serving other people, not necessarily health. I get it. To me, that's kind of a background conversation, unfortunately, for better or worse, probably more worse. But talking about alignment, I think if you focus on your North Star, for me, that's, service, whatever, service and contribution, all that kind of stuff. When you focus on that, then you won't really get burnt out because you're already passionate about it. You can already live, breathe, and sleep that alignment piece. But if it's the kind of secondary things like working out, exercise, stuff like that, sure, I can see you could get burnt out. So if that's the case, my recommendation would be have a balance. If working out and eating healthy and all that stuff is overwhelming for you, then balance it. Eat healthy some days and give yourself some quote unquote cheat days or whatever it is, or just figure out a way to balance it. So hopefully that helps. That's what I got there. All right, Raskid, yeah, I totally agree with why as to follow through on goals, commitments, and being grateful for even the smallest of wins. So what's the ideal vision of self-esteem of a 10? That's Discord is a newer web-based server platform, essentially TeamSpeak 2.0. Gotcha. I remember that. I also remember, I'm like, Discord, what's that? Oh, interesting. So starting up a Discord, pretty much the idea was start up a communication platform where all of us could be talking at the same time, right? That's That's a really interesting thought, huh? I'll keep that in mind, man. Having an open platform where we could all just freely talk instead of, it's just me talking and you all just commenting. Huh, okay. That's a really cool idea. I'm gonna play around with that. I'm gonna have to think about that more. Goodness. Man, everything is like evolving so quickly, like first it was like just making YouTube videos, and then I went to Facebook Lives. I'm like, oh, this is really cool. And now I'm on YouTube Live. And then now it's like I'm thinking about, ooh, what if I use Snapchat or Instagram live stories or whatever the heck that is, and then now we're talking about Discord, and I'm just like, oh goodness, this is a lot of platforms. How do I keep track of all this stuff? So I need to also take into consideration that not everyone uses Discord, especially when I go to schools. Not everyone's going to use Discord. So how do we loop those people in a way? But I like this idea. Discord has voice and text channels. It's kind of like TeamSpeak, but for communities. A lot of people on YouTube have it, so that everyone in the community can interact. Thank you for clarifying that even more. That's goodness gracious. Okay. Whew. All right. If Rasket and Chowder, I might need your support with Discord, and we could have a little bit more conversations about what you think about it. Do you think that's a good idea? Should we create a Discord? And what is that going to look like? I've never used Discord before, but I get a pretty good sense of what it is. So yeah, that will definitely be a consideration. Hurting Richard's brain. Nice one. All right. So what now? Okay. It's almost 10:30 here in California. Yeah, totally would be down to help. Awesome. Cool. I like that. That's really cool. Having I like having more voice communication. Goodness. I'm just thinking, I had the Infinite Mastery Facebook group, and part of that was I want to create a community there where people can kind of share videos and things like that, but it doesn't promote. It promotes more text interactions versus like speech interactions. So I'll play around with this idea of Discord, and I don't know how many people would use it. So because if we're gonna use Discord, we gotta kind of go all in on it. As in, like, we have to have a way to kind of, make sure the conversations are flowing, and it's not. We gotta publicize it so people know about it and they join in on it. So that's what I have there. All right. So right now, we are caught up with comments, and I'm going to go back to the main topic, because that's always a good way to kind of wrap things up. I don't know if we're going to wrap things up just yet. If there's more comments, we'll answer them, but we'll start to wind down. So the conversation was around self-esteem and rating ourselves between 1 through 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What do we feel our self-esteem is at? I rated myself at a 7 because I feel like I'm doing decent. I'm in alignment with myself, but at the same time, I'm not a 10 because I feel like there's a lot of things I'm working through. I feel like I'm lacking in some ways. I'm not 100% in alignment with myself, meaning I know there's things that I don't do because I'm in a way afraid of failure. And what I mean by that is I'm afraid that I won't achieve a certain level of success, so I almost don't take action because it's like a defense mechanism to give me an excuse to not take action, to do stuff. So in a way, my self-esteem lacks, or is lacking because I'm not fulfilling my greatest potential, if that makes sense. And I'm afraid that I will fail to reach my fullest potential if I went all in on it. So that's my fear. It's not a fear I'm proud of, but it is my fear. So that's what I have there. Let's see. Dang it. Raskin, wait, what? What do you mean I didn't Oh, hey, thanks, Who's that? Was that Chowder who said that? Thanks for calling me out. Yeah, I didn't answer Raska's question. So, what's the ideal vision of self-esteem of a 10? Okay, so I believe I would love for everyone to answer this question too. You know, as I answer the question, what is my ideal vision of a self-esteem 10? What is your ideal vision of a self-esteem 10? My ideal vision of a self-esteem 10 is someone who is, in a way, perfectly aligned with who he is as a human being. It's a person who is confident, who pretty much does everything that he says he's going to do. So 100% integrity. It's if this person says, I'm going to do it, they do it. Hey, I'll meet you at 4 o'clock. They show up before 4 o'clock. You know, they're there at whatever it is, 3:45, latest 3:55, because they are 100% committed to doing exactly what they said they would do. You know, they self-esteem. Let's see, level 10 self-esteem to me is like someone who is honestly, this goes with health and wellness, and it's someone who eats clean. It's someone who exercises regularly, probably has a good-looking body, not out of ego, but rather because they love themselves and they take care of themselves. So person of integrity, someone who respects their body enough to take care of it. What else? Self-esteem. This is a great question. It's making me think in a different way. Someone who is, I guess in a way, like not focused on himself. Someone who is there to serve, 100%, and like genuinely expects nothing in return. You know, they're just there to give, and they are, in a way, it's almost like this person would be almost carefree. And when I say carefree, it's like they're not focused on money. You know, they're like, money just comes to them because of the person that they are, because of how much service they provide to other people. So that's kind of my basis of a level 10 self-esteem. That's really interesting. It's very different from what I thought I would say a level 10 self-esteem was, or parts of it. So that's my definition. Love to hear yours. All right. Johnny Leg. Hey, good to see you on, Johnny Leg. Personally, I tend to put exercise to the side a bit. Definitely something I think I like to change. Our mind is embedded within our brain. Our brain is part of our body. Nice. He's got a lot to think about. It'll be answered eventually anyways. There we go. We answered it. Johnny Leg. Therefore, a healthier body must result into a healthier mind. A healthier body. So mind is part of the body. Therefore, a healthier body must result into a healthier mind. I'm not perfectly clear, but I get the general idea. Good guy Greg. Hey, good to see you on. Thanks for joining us. Us other people. This is really cool. I love that we have like regulars, people that are here pretty much every single day. It creates a really cool community. Yeah. All right. Chowder, super off topic, but I really want to know, do you think that in a school setting, school counselors are kind of a joke to a lot of people? If so, why do you think so? Learning to love yourself enough to take care of yourself is definitely the first part. Okay. So Chowder, do I think school counselors are kind of a joke to a lot of people? If so, what do I think so? So, well, man, I don't know. I have like this like mucus in the back of my throat / nose, like somewhere there, right there in the back of my throat. It's weird. I can't even point to it. Okay. So, do I think school counselors are a joke? To a lot of people? To a lot of people. So, do I think it's a joke? No, I don't think it's a joke. Do I think it's a joke for a lot of people? Yes. I don't think people use counselors a lot because they think it's a joke. With school counselors, I feel like they're a little bit of a hit or miss, meaning, you know, you have good school counselors and you have not so good school counselors. Good school counselors are ones that you know, like they can empathize with students. They're the ones that kind of can put themselves into your shoes. They can see your challenges and support you in that way. You know, it's kind of like if I were a school counselor, I think I'd do a pretty decent job, you know, because I work with a lot of youth and this is what I do. But then there's those that are kind of like, I almost feel like they were just kind of hired because they filled the role or something like that, and they're more like robotic, and you know, they don't quite get it. They give very formal resources versus the more important informal resources that kind of relate with students. Let's see. In high school, I never went to the counselor, maybe like once or twice to like classes or something. But in college, I went to my counselors a lot because, I don't know, they were always very supportive in classrooms and stuff like that. So that's what I got there. All right, good guy Greg. Hey, please stop spamming the chat with that. If you're going to do that, you will be blocked. Just letting you know, I'm not gonna deal with that kind of stuff. All right. Yeah. Yep. All right. All right, Greg. Sorry, I put you in a timeout for now because you're massively spamming, and yeah. Yep. I'm not tolerating spam, bro. Sorry. It's all right. Let's see. Now I gotta. All right, Chatter. The way you are wording this, it seems that you are creating a personality that is a 10 for you. Seems a bit odd to me. Personally, it seems that being a 10 is being the best person that you can be. So, Chatter, in a way, I guess in a way, when I worded my thought of a 10, that is the person that I want to be. And I believe that person that I want to be, that was all kind of out of feeling. I believe that person that I want to be will be a good representation of kind of a level 10 for me, you know, not for everyone, but for me specifically. All right, Raskin, ideal 10 has achievable goals, not out of reach, has one far-fetched goal. I like that. Singular end goal, becoming a doctor, etc. Lives joyfully and is self-motivated and self-driven, affectionate, confident. Nice. Also extremely grateful for his gifts. I really like that one. Nice. Sorry. I'm just laughing because of this whole timeout feature. It just says like, you know, whatever. Trump was timed out for 300 seconds. That's really interesting. Hey, no offense to you, Trump. But yeah, I'm not going to tolerate spam. All right, Chowder, my new counselor was just hired. She is definitely a miss compared to the last one. Oh, definitely a miss compared to the last one. I told her that I couldn't pass the class no matter how hard I tried, and she just told me to deal with it. Come on. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I feel like a good counselor would be someone who would sit there and be like, hey, look, you know, there is a way. And how are you going to do it? You know, what do you get to do? And a good counselor would ask the right questions to get you to think about, you know, help you ask good questions so you could come up with good solutions for yourself and support you through that. I think that's what a good counselor would try to do for you. I hate you all. Good to see you on again. Guess he's not a good guy, Greg, after all. Who knows? Maybe he's a good guy, just wants attention, you know? That's a thing that people like. Alrighty, cool. So I'm kind of surprised that I did not expect YouTube Lives to go on for over an hour. You know, 4 days in a row, and pretty much every single day was about an hour or longer. And I guess that's kind of cool. You know, to me, that means we're having good conversation, and I look forward to kind of keeping that up. Let me know how you guys like the whole, like the daily live streams. You know, do you like that, or not necessary? You know, should we do it every other day? 3 times a week? You know, I don't know. So far, I'm okay with doing daily live streams, and I'm enjoying it, and I hope you are too. Let's see. So I guess, you know, we're winding it down. I'm going to wrap up pretty soon. So the next thing is I'm going to go ahead and plan out. I am going to plan out the next live stream. So for tomorrow, I'm going to say 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay, I'm going to put that on my calendar for now. 10 YouTube live stream. Okay, so 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow is the next time that I plan to do a live stream. So that's for now. I will create a little notification on YouTube. So this is what I'm doing now. I'm scheduling them on YouTube. So you could probably see, you know, get notified or whatever. I will post that right after we hang up on this one. Okay. Do you do live streams every day now? Yes, for now. For now, I'm doing them every single day. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do them every day for how long. I haven't committed to doing them daily. But, you know, we've done 4 or 5 days in a row now, and I plan to do 6. So I have a feeling for at least this week, I will be doing them every single day. So that's kind of what I have right now. Will I continue to do that forever? I don't think I'll do that forever, but I'll figure something out that makes sense. I haven't really sat down to strategize. So, yeah, that's what I got. Alrighty. Leave a comment. I'm going to end this broadcast pretty soon, but feel free to leave a comment on topics that you want to talk about for future ones. For the most part, it's Q&A every single live stream. But is there a specific topic you want to focus on, or for that to be the highlight of the conversation? So today was self-esteem 1 through 10. Is there something else? So leave a comment and let us know that one. All right. Johnny, a person's definition of worth reflect on their values. I like that. Nice. Well done. Raska, good night. Need to study and catch up on some sleep. Happy to have been a part of the conversation. Thanks, Richard. Raska, thank you. Appreciate you, brother. And good luck on your studies and getting some sleep. Yes. Johnny, appreciate that. Good stuff. All right. Hey, thanks for hopping on, everyone, again, as always. And I'll see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I will create a notification right now. And, yeah, you'll see it up in the next 3 minutes or so. All right. Chow Derp, good to see you on. Everyone else, Trump, good to see you on. Let's see. I'm like, who else? Yeah, we got Chow Derp, Johnny Leg, Raskin. I'm trying to figure out who. Sorry, Oh, Tyrone. What's up, Tyrone? I didn't even see that. Ventroid's already off. Cyberlow's off, I think. Judah. So if you're on, see you later. See you tomorrow. I'm like scrolling really, really quick. All right, I kind of hate you all too. All right, take care. Peace out.